get this, the entire staff of the Nevada Democratic Party quit after a group of Democratic socialists won every seat in the party's leadership roles. One of the former Nevada Democratic Party staffers says they quit because the socialists will demolish the party. How will this look for Nevada residents and the future of the Democratic Party there? Or actually, let's expand it. Is this just the beginning, Andrew? You start in Nevada, you add some other areas. I don't know where this goes, but just so people, a lot of these folks identify with Bernie Sanders, and we know how liberal he is. Maybe they're even more liberal.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Harry Reid is thinking right now, and far be it for me to actually get in the mind of Democratic state staffers, but this is happening all across the country, obviously, whether it be in New York or Nevada. We're seeing more and more socialists put the pressure on these traditional Democrats in these states and trying to truly do these, I mean, we'll call them hostile takeovers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, George can probably speak to a hostile takeover, but that's certainly what it feels like.
The financial guy. Yeah, we'll go to George. What do you think about that?
Well, I think this is a microcosm for the war within the Democratic Party that's going on around the country. And I would hearken back again to people who may not have voted for President Trump and voted for President Biden last year or stayed home based more on style than substance. They were with President Trump on substance. I would encourage them that policy is all about the substance. It's not about style. And in Nevada in particular, which is a very, very close state that we've nearly won on major elections in the last few cycles, it's within grasp. And with the Hispanic voter bloc moving more and more decisively towards Republicans because of policy and because core Hispanic values align better with the Republican Party, the Nevada Republican Party and the RNC and other entities better put a major effort out to register conservative voters and get out the vote in the next election, because that state's winnable. And when the Democrats lurch to the far left, which is what they're doing nationally and in Nevada right now, it's a tremendous opportunity to blow a hole through the facade that we have a choice in elections. We really don't anymore for conservative. There's only one party to vote for.
Yeah, and Heather, these are, they identify themselves as democratic socialists. So I don't know exactly how that manifests itself in policy, but it's way beyond what most folks are used to.
Yeah, I was just looking online, and it's just weird to look up the Democratic Party in Nevada, and then it brings up the DSA website. So it's very troubling, and I'm glad that George brought up the fact that it does show this rift within the Democratic Party, because we've talked nonstop about this war within the Republicans. I think the Democrats have an issue that they're going to have to deal with as well as we approach 2022 and 2024.
Yeah, and Paulina, how do you read this?
I mean, I'm really glad George hit on the Hispanic vote, because frankly, in states like Georgia, in states like Florida, and in states like Texas, it's going to be increasingly more important for the GOP to have the outreach and the support of the Hispanic voting bloc, of which if you even look in media currently, there is no conservative media, I think, until now. For the Hispanic American demographic. But you look at the strategy that the DNC rolls out, especially with DSA, they 100% target Hispanics. They just rolled out a $22 million initiative that's actually going to be fact-checking and targeting the Hispanic American demographic via social media. So it's going to be a fight that we have on our hands. But I mean, I am all for, disagreeing of opinions, but something I'm not for is socialism. And make no mistake, Democrat socialism, it's still socialism. Just because they put the word Democrat in front of it doesn't make it any different. It never ends well. It never has historically ended well. And it's a fool ideology to think otherwise.
Yeah, it seems, Andrew, even Nancy Pelosi is aware that that's not a good combination for them, which is why they ran Joe Biden, right? He was still considered middle of the road. He wasn't Bernie. These people identify themselves with Bernie.
That's exactly right. And it goes back to a topic that we had a couple of segments ago, which is who is actually running the Biden White House? What is the actual agenda behind it right there? I don't think that I think Joe is the front man whenever they can get him up. But what actually are the policies that are being pushed right there? Who's actually pulling the trigger on this stuff, and who's influencing them?
I think it's Pelosi.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's Pelosi. She has this weird clip where she's there and she says, we say, instead of open sesame, it's open Biden. And she's acting crazy.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah. Anna Paulina, thank you so much. And Andrew, of course, thank you sitting here with us. And George, I love your office there. You definitely look like the financial guy. I'm very impressed. You've got the books. You got the leather chair behind you. I mean, it all looks great. If I had any money, I'd give it to you. I know it would multiply. So thanks for being
I'll take it whenever you've got it, Bob. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And folks, we'll be back with more of American Agenda after this.